see if you bastards can do 90.
Alright, so I made the plunge and watched this installment of the Fast and Furious franchise. This is my review for Fast 5. This is from 2011, so it's a couple years old now. And the reason I watched it is because, of course, the new one just came out, Furious 7. Everybody was giving it pretty good reviews, and were saying it's so good. And, you know, everybody had just been talking about how good the series is. This is an extremely successful franchise that people just didn't really expect. I mean, obviously there's 7 of them now, and it started out as the first one was a pretty low budget, pretty much straight up reimagining of the Point Break plot. And then the second one, Too Fast, Too Furious, was not very good at all, and then just kind of turned into something else. And so yeah, it's like $1 billion franchise. It's one of the most successful. And people like it. They like the campiness of it, and I just think it's like a fun action franchise. I saw the original one in the theaters when it came out, and I was like in junior high. I liked that one when it came out. I know I've seen the second one, maybe not from beginning to end, but parts of it, and it's not very good. And then I know I saw, what would it be, the fourth one, Fast and Furious, but I just kind of randomly watched that in the theater, I think, and thought it was okay. I don't know, I just never got into them, just didn't care to watch them. I didn't think they're particularly well acted and well written or anything. But, you know, the more they got closer to this new one coming out, and everybody kept saying they get really good with the 5th and 6th one. Everybody said they're the best out of the series, and those are the ones I hadn't watched. So I said, well, all right, maybe I'll give it another chance. I'll go back and watch the 5th one and maybe the 6th one, and then I can see the 7th one since it just came out. So that was my plan. And this one, again, is directed by Justin Lin. He started, like I had mentioned, the first two had come out. The Fast and the Furious is the first one. Too Fast, Too Furious. And then this director, Justin Lin, started with the third one, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which took the story like in a completely different direction. And none of the main characters, kind of just restarted the whole thing. Maybe the idea was that they would just start with different cast members each time or whatever, but then now that he's been directing, he directed that one, and then Fast and Furious, and then this one, and then the 6th one as well. They kind of did a retroactive thing where they incorporated characters from Tokyo Drift, the third one, into the franchise now that has been going from the 4th through the 7th. So it's kind of a cool thing they did there. But anyways, so that's the director. He's been doing a lot of these now, Justin Lin. And so this one, it gets all of the characters back together again. Fast and Furious, the one before this, had brought a lot of the characters back. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel mainly. They were not in the Tokyo Drift one, but then they came back for Fast and Furious. And now this is kind of an all-star cast. It brings back pretty much everybody from the series that we've seen, the big names anyway. So Vin Diesel, of course, is here as Dominic Toretto. Paul Walker is Brian O'Connor. Jordana Brewster is Mia. Tyrese was in the second one. He's back here as Roman. Ludacris plays Tej. And then a couple other characters, like the guy that played Vince in the very first one, Giselle and Han, and a couple other characters from some of the previous ones. They're all here. So what this is basically, the previous movies have been more race movies, or they really focused around, you know, the car chases. And this turns into more of a heist film. And what it basically is what I mentioned in my movie connections, is The Italian Job and Ocean's 11, which is basically what it is. They just kind of took those formulas and applied it here to the Fast and Furious franchise. A new character here that is in the following movies is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. His character, Hobbs, is an FBI, or he's not FBI, but a DEA or ATF agent or something like that, looking for these guys. But anyway, so I'll try to go through the plot quickly. We start out with Brian and Mia. They're on the run from what happened in the previous movies, and they busted out Dom. He was on his way to prison, and this starts out with this like really short but pretty high intensity breakout of them flipping Dom's prison bus, which totally would not work in any sense the way they do it. Everybody would be dead, but they pull it off somehow. And then they're on the run. They're all going south to South America. And then once Mia and Brian get there, they're going to do a job with Vince to do a job because they're like need money and all that. And that's when they get to this train scene. It's pretty cool, actually. A pretty good action sequence. They're going to steal a couple cars from a train. And the way they do it is pretty cool. It's well shot, and it's some good action. That's when we actually get introduced to Dom as well. He shows up there. But anyways, they steal some cars. Good action sequence there. One of the cars has something from a drug lord, and the drug lord wants it back. And it's like a chip, and that's found in the car. And then the plan is to just steal this drug lord's money. That's their plan. They were gonna sell us money, so they'll be all well off, and they end up getting the rest of the crew together from all the other movies. They come in to help. That's the plan. And then Hobbs is there. Dwayne Johnson's character is there to find them. He's trying to find them the whole time. I don't want to get into all the details. There's a lot going on in the plot, a lot that doesn't make sense at all, but it's an okay movie. I kept giving it, the benefit of the doubt, but the longer it went on, the worse it was. It's dumb. It's a dumb movie. I'll say that. The plot is not good. There's so many holes in it. Just doing stupid things. Alright, so I'm running out of storage space, so I'm trying to make this a little bit quicker on my camera here. So like I was saying, dumb plot. They tell Gravity just to go screw itself when they're doing this heist towards the end. It looks pretty cool. There is some good action sequences, some good fights. They also just straight up start murdering people in this movie. I was surprised. There's a lot of gunfights and all these things, and situations where people just would not be alive after them. I was like, okay, they're going for it. They're just killing these people. I thought that was interesting. Even though how bad it was, the acting's really bad too for a lot of the people, especially Tyrese is just horrendous every time he's on screen. But even as bad as it was, I was just grinning the whole time because it's just, I don't know, it's kind of fun, and for how it's amazing how campy and kind of dorky this movie is, and how expensive it is. I mean, it was a big budget film, and it made a ton of money. So it's like this huge, big box office movie, but it's got a not good plot, not good acting. It's just kind of funny how this got made. It was kind of interesting. So it's kind of good and bad at the same time. It's watchable, but at the same time, after I was done watching it, I was like, I don't really know if I can watch the following two movies, because people are saying this is the best one. I've heard people say 5 and 6 are the best, and a lot of people say number 5 is probably the best movie. And if that's the case, that's really sad. I think the first one's really good because it follows Point Break's plot, but this one is not good. So I didn't race off and watch the 6th one after this, so I don't know if I ever will either. I don't know. I'm not sold on it. But yeah, other than that, they really make a point, especially Vin Diesel, Dominic. He always makes a point to talk about family. It's a big thing. And I think he's allergic. I think Vin Diesel is actually allergic to sleeves because he never wears sleeves, and if he does, he looks funny. I think they took the budget that they saved from making Vin Diesel wear cutoffs and tank tops, wife beaters. I think the money they saved, they used to pay for The Rock's oil that he used to oil up his muscles, because he's always greasy and oily. And it's funny. It is weird. So my rating, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. It is watchable in that way that it's kind of like a train wreck that you just can't look away from. That's how I'd explain it. I think that's pretty accurate. And the train scene is pretty cool at the beginning. And they do a lot of the practical stunts themselves, so that's kind of cool as well. That's a good, that's nice to see them do that. But I don't know, if you're into this kind of thing, turn off your brain, don't think about it. Think as little as possible and just watch it and enjoy. Oh, there is a sad part as well. When, spoiler alert, I was 4 years old, but Mia is pregnant with Paul Walker, Brian's kid, and he's talking about it later, I think maybe with Ludacris. But yeah, that part's sad because Paul Walker did die, and they're talking about, oh, you'll be around for your kid and see him grow up and blah blah blah. They're saying he'll be a better father than Brian's dad was for him, and that was like really sad. I didn't cry or anything, but I was like thinking about it. I was like, ooh, that's unintentionally really sad because Paul Walker did have kids and he's dead now. So sad note. But anyways, yeah, if you like these movies, check it out. Don't think too hard when you watch it though. All right, you might hurt yourself.